I never knew when or why you started Muay Thai. Was there like something that just sparked you to um, start this journey? What was it?
Oh, it was a lot of things actually. So I was raised in the Philippines for half my life. I came to Canada in 2009, and prior to that, um, I was raised in I went to an all-girls school, and in that all-girls school, there's a lot of the old gender norms were very rigid. So girls were expected to do certain things, not really invest in sports or be physical. So a lot of that interest in being physical was suppressed,
Mm-hmm.
and just had to play nice, be, try to be presentable, not necessarily play rough. And it was only until I arrived here that I was able to finally um, explore that side of me that always wanted to do rough play and be competitive
Yeah.
and at least channel aggression in in a healthy way, in a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
non-abusive way. And martial arts was that avenue. I didn't start with Muay Thai. I actually started in a karate school because I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
about Muay Thai at that time. And thankfully, that karate school closed down, and I was forced to look for
Yeah.
other martial arts schools. And ironically, one of the instructors from that karate school actually knew about Kru Kat and told me specifically about Branson Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm.
And when I read at Branson Muay Thai, first class, only girl in a
Of
sea
course, yeah.
of 20 guys. I was, I think, 16 when I did my trial, and everyone was massive. I'm 5'1",
Yeah, yeah.
and everyone is minimum 5'7" to 6". A huge class. I think you were still at the teens program at that time, right? Or the kids
Yeah, I think I
program?
was probably just I don't know our age. I'm 20
That's
right now.
2014. That's a long
2014,
time
yeah.
back.
I was probably just starting like a couple of years
Yeah,
in.
it's like
Maybe
10
like
years ago.
11, 12 years old.
Yeah, different class completely. So I didn't even see you. You didn't even see me.
Yeah.
And despite that co-ed setting or very isolated setting, because sometimes there would only be one or two other ladies I would see there, I was more in love with um, growing myself physically than I was intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I wasn't intimidated. There definitely was a lot of that, but it
Yeah.
wasn't as much as my desire to be strong, um, to get better at it, to be skilled and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because I generally would smile whenever I would train, even
Yeah,
if I was
yeah.
crying from all the burpees. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I found that spark when I trained in Muay Thai, and I think that spark developed fast because again, I was in the right environment, as you mentioned. Crew Nick, and at the time, Crew Ryan was there too.
Oh yeah,
So
Kurt
for those of
Ryan.
you who don't know, that's one
Yeah.
of the former instructors that we had at Branson Muay Thai. Now, the owner of Richmond Hill Muay Thai, and they
Represent.
made sure that any student that came in was going to be respected, especially the ladies. I didn't pick up any hookup culture of
Yeah, 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 of
guys
course.
hounding on ladies. I didn't sense any of that when I was there. And if there was, I heard stories of students being kicked out because of that kind of behavior, which wasn't being tolerated. So yeah, there was that level of respect for students, particularly female students, and the challenge for anyone, whether it was your first time or you're an athlete for decades or years, or you're a cop, someone who's experienced and knows about violence,
Mm-hmm.
or someone who is intimidated by violence but wants to become confident in themselves. uh, Branson Muay Thai was the right school to embrace all kinds of lives,
Mm-hmm.
basically all kinds of experiences. It only really depended on the person. If the person was willing to work with that growth with these people in the school. Um, so yeah, my passion for training grew, and I started fighting. I started competing, and then the more I would compete, the more I'd be at the gym, the more I saw um, the teaching that was happening. It wasn't just my class that I was experiencing. I was seeing how the kids' classes were being run. I could see how the beginner classes were being run, at least from a different lens, that I was seeing it not as a beginner anymore, but someone more experienced. And um, it sparked something else, seeing how people were starting to grow, seeing how kids that used to be so shy were now open to uh, making friends with other kids in the gym, or um, people who had an inflated ego became more humble.
Yeah.
Became more humble, and how they helped out classmates, not just took care of themselves in training. They were now becoming leaders in group work. They weren't just, prioritizing themselves. They were thinking about their partners. So seeing everyone in the gym grow um, beyond their skill level, not just their skills, but also their um, personality, growing as a person, that inspired me to want to become a teacher as well. And long story short, became a puchoy.
Hmm.
And then after years of helping out, I decided, you know what, I want to have my own program. And I started Queens, the all women's program. And the reason why I wanted to do the all women's program was because I noticed how there weren't a lot of ladies in the
Hmm.
classes. The ratio in the kids' classes was roughly the same. Maybe you get like 50-50, 40-60
Yeah.
girls in there in terms of ratio, because the gender norms, the gender roles aren't that heightened
Yeah.
for young kids. It's not as intimidating to be around a boy. But once puberty hits,
Hmm.
that's another story. It's a completely different story, and that's even worse.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
aggravates into adulthood for a lot of women, and um, I wanted to I wanted to provide a space for ladies who wanted to train but didn't necessarily feel like they belonged or felt safe in a co-ed setting. And that's not to disguise. It's again, we made sure to have decent men, respectful men in our gym.
Hmm.
We didn't keep the hound dogs
Yeah.
at
They didn't
all.
last long.
But yeah, but just seeing men in general in a training setting is intimidating enough, whether or not they're good guys or right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what led me to create Queens, and I'm excited to keep growing it. It's one thing to start from one student, and I'm excited to keep growing that
Yeah.
into way more than just the one.